This is something to talk about, which we do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday here at the Bainbridge Island Senior Community Center. And we are grateful for the sponsorship from Fieldstone Memory Care, Bainbridge Island. Fieldstone offers innovative and compassionate care, and they are now accepting residents. So if you would like to schedule a tour of their beautifully appointed Rolling Bay facilities, call 360-271-2530. And ever since the pandemic started, we have been hosting the Bainbridge Island Photo Club once a month, and they have been graciously sharing the photos that they have been putting in the atrium for a couple of years, also online on our website. And today, Chizuko Farley is with us, and she has made some lovely photos which are available. Even though the center today is closed, you can sneak in and look in the atrium and see them. And you can see versions online at the Bainbridge Island at our website, biseniorcenter.org, under the gallery button. So thank you very much, Chizuko, for joining us. And I wonder if you might just give a little introduction to how long you've been involved with the photo club and what kinds of things you've done with photos with this group.
Hi, Happy New Year, everybody. And first of all, thank you very much for the opportunity to be on this program. And also, I thank you, Bainbridge Photo Club, to give me opportunity to present my photos this month. I've actually been kind of quiet member, but I've been with the Bainbridge Photo Club for probably 15 years. And few people know me, since then, and then their lot changed. But I was full-time working in Bainbridge, so that was my excuse that I couldn't spend as much time as I wanted. Now I'm fully retired and no more excuse, and I really want to spend, I have been actually be able to spend more time on my photography. Also, this is related to today's presentation, but I also am a gardener and have been pretty lazy. And, but this year, this year, I started to volunteer at Heronswood Garden in Kingston, more toward Hansville, and this sort of reopened my interest and enthusiasm to flowers, and not just the photography, but the flowers and plants in general. And so this is a kind of combination of my love for photography and plants. And title, actually, it's going to be on the exhibit, but the title of the collection is My Favorite Things. And I am not singing, but Raindrops on Roses and Whiskers and Kittens. And
right.
that's the thing. And many of the flowers and leaves has raindrops, and that's not really a theme, but it's my favorite thing. So you will see that.
Okay, and have in your 15 years, have you done a variety of different kinds of photography? Or
yes, lots of landscapes, like traveling is my another favorite things to do. So travel photos, landscapes. Also, this Bainbridge Photo Clubs gave me opportunity to even try something different, monthly things. And so I sometimes challenge myself doing something else. Lots of black and white photography is this month theme for the club. And and then this year, actually already last year, but first time I did a little small wedding photography, which was a very challenging.
Yes, no kidding.
Yeah, but I was very casual and small, so that wasn't too bad. And the people I knew, so they were happy about it. So yeah.
Great. Well, that's a good challenge. I can imagine any event coverage is, if you don't have time to You don't have a second chance.
Right, and cannot go back.
So I'm going to start this show of your photos by clicking on this link, and these are the photos we'll be looking at. So I'll just enlarge them, and I hope that you could talk to us a little bit about each one, either why you took it or how you took it. And if there are questions from people who are attending about specific things, feel free to just open your microphone and ask. So we'll start with this toad lily.
Yes, this is taken at Heronswood Garden. This is a very little plant, and I really couldn't see this detail until come home and put it in my computer, and all those hair, tiny details of texture of the flower, and also buds. Buds are so pretty, and that's the really so it's in the garden. You don't really see it's a shade plant, and it's in the woodlands, so it's not a showy plant, but if you look close, very pretty.
Yes, it
So I like
certainly is showy up close.
And this plant is a really interesting plant. It's called Paris Polyphela, and so kind of almost so weird, but I was so interested. In Heronswood Garden has, I understand, 25 different variety of Paris plant, and I understand those little hairy like thing curving, that is they flower. I'm not 100% sure, and then the green part that look like leaves, those are bract, I believe. And I'm so fascinated with this plant. So I bought a similar plant last June, but and the heat wave came and it kind of looked really dead, and I don't know, I hope it's going to come back, but this is one of the most interesting plant. Yeah.
Yes, it has this great variety of different shapes, and I love how you were able to capture the water, the raindrops, as you said.
Yes, thank you. I really like that. And this is my favorite plant. I think a lot of people love this plant, Himalayan blue poppy. It is really hard to grow, so I wish I have one in my garden, but I don't. And this, I took this a couple years ago, and the color and the very fragile, very delicate, the petals and water drops on it. I really liked it, and so it's one of my favorite flower. And this was taken at the Heronswood, by the way.
Okay. And when you are trying to reproduce the image, do you find it difficult to keep that kind of a color? Is there a challenge with that?
No, not this case, actually. It wasn't that difficult. And so sometimes, yeah, I understand that sometimes it could be, but I think blue came out pretty good. And this one is a small pond in a Heronswood Garden by the house. And I took this picture a couple years ago. There are many small frogs, and I didn't even know what it was. And this year, I didn't see any. So I sent a message to a Heronswood Garden and anything about this this frog. And I got an answer from the garden, the assistant director of Heronswood. He wrote to me, said, all these frogs are called, let's see, oh, it's bullfrogs, an invasive species from Eastern North America, and otter ate most of them last year, but they are slowly coming back. So it's a kind of sad, but it's kind of funny story. I didn't know what happened to these guys. So also the frog was not this color, actually. It was a little dull, a brownish color. So I kind of did a little play with it and then make it a little more golden. So
Yeah, so it echoes some of the other colors there in the water lilies.
yeah. And this is just the center part of crocus, and the picture itself is pretty not like this. The original photo is more like more flower and petals, but I zoomed in and in my computer screen, and here it is. This part really shows, and everything else is blur. And it was not really intentional, but I cropped it, and it looks like just the center is really sharp and everything else a little blur. And I really like that color as well. So
yes, it's a great play on colors. Very nice.
thank you. And this is the only picture I took indoor. Everything else is all taken in natural light and handheld and in the garden. But this is, I cut this primrose and put it in front of the computer screen, which projecting a photo of a similar flower, kind of like a blurry, create artificial background. And I did this when the Bainbridge Photo Club doing the complementary color. And I created this during I did the project on it. And so this is the only sort of artificial photography. I don't know how to say, but yeah, it's not the natural, but
right. It's manipulated. It's manipulated, but it is. I love the as you said, the complementary color.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Thanks. And this is just from my garden. And I think one time I was just taking picture and I didn't even really see this until I put it in my screen and looked at it and zoomed in, and there's just some drops with sparkling. And also I love bokeh in the background, those blow the round bokeh blurry things. So that make me kind of nice surprise that I didn't see when I was taking picture. And that's it. And this one is called Solomon Seal, Variegated Solomon Seal. And this is, I think it's a bud, so it's supposed to open up. But most interesting, I thought of this is like a bubbles, and it almost looked like it's in the water or something, and it just bubbles all over. And this is, there's no trick or anything. It's just a straight shot photography. But
wow.
It came out kind of interesting, and I really liked it.
Yeah, there's all those suspended bubbles that do make it look like it's underwater.
Yes.
And the buds look also like they might be bubbles almost.
Yeah, it's like a jelly bean or something, but it's supposed to open up. And this is just a straight iris, small iris, I believe. And I don't know a lot about this. This was taken also at Heron's Garden. But I think just the sparkle of so many water drops kind of created almost like a different flower. So that's why I really like this one. And also color is nice. And this one is, let me try to pronounce this one's called Chemosabulus obtusa. I'm sorry. It's a type of a cypress. And it's a zoomed in small portion of the cypress, like a tree, small tree. And again, these water drops really create, and also this color is like those almost lemon yellow, and it's called the sunlight. And the color of this is tree and the water drops, and really, I thought, oh, this is really I like.
Yes, Diane was noting earlier macro surprises that come up when you get really close to something.
Yeah, yes. Okay, this is another one that almost couldn't tell what it is. Just when I saw this, it was like hundreds, thousands of those sparkles. This and later I found out the good thing was there is at the garden there's little marking of what the plant is. So I checked online and find out this is actually seed heads. Of common name is pasque flower. I didn't really know, and I even don't know what it really looks like when it's in bloom. But this was taken after bloom is gone, and the seed heads, all kind of hairy seed heads, and it was right after the rain, and just created really most unusual, sparkly.
Yes, it has echoes of like a dandelion almost.
Yeah, I think probably after the rain and dandelion might have this kind of effect. And this is a love in the mist, and this is kind of a pretty common flower. A lot of people have in their garden, and this is not my garden, but this was I just love this. Also, again, I really love blue flower, and the blue flower with raindrops on blue flower, so never goes wrong. This is just a little bit different, but this is also taken at Heronswood, and it's called the Giant Pharaoh. It's really, this picture is taken looking up to the sky, and I was looking up. So this is very large plant, and I did that little use the software to create a little more monochrome image and a little more contrast to create little interesting image.
Yes.
But if you look close, it is kind of fennel, you can see that.
Yeah, we see them around quite a bit, and of course, it with your change to the monochrome, it definitely looks like Northwest winter with the cloudy skies, and or it could be like the shot at the beginning of a horror movie or something, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Because it's kind of ominous, that black and white. It's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. And this is just a cucumber tendrils. This is my cucumber I was growing this summer, and it was a summer really curly and really interesting. So I took picture and look close enough and really have all the hairy part of tendrils, and then some are smooth. So it's one piece, but some are hairy and some are smooth. It's only connected. So also I love the curls of the shapes and color of it. So
yes, the curls and the contrast, as you say, is absolutely captivating.
And this is pretty common, crocosmia. And again, after the rain, I just was in Heronswood Garden and just looking, it was kind of fell down almost. So I called actually crocosmia skirt. It's almost like some curtain-like image with flower and leaves almost hanging upside down. And so I thought that was an interesting image. And this is really interesting flower, I think. And I didn't even realize this is lobelia, called Lobelia tupa. I didn't know until I asked, what is it? It looks like a flamingo. And that was when I looked at this, and this is weird first, but if you really look close, maybe some people might see similarity of other lobelia. So
yes, I definitely see the flamingo.
Yeah, thank you. I'm not the only one. And this is a fern, and I guess it's still kind of unfurling fern. And I love the fern in different stage, and I really probably want to start taking picture again in this coming spring from the all sorts of stage, and the ferns becoming tight to kind of unfurling, curly, and this one is really pretty curved. And then also I really want paying attention to the background. Background is sort of presenting also the same plant, but in the same color, but it's blurry background. So I really like that. And this is from my garden, Japanese anemone. A lot of people probably have this. This is such easy to grow flower and so lovely. My favorite garden flower, and you really don't have to do anything. It just comes back every year and almost invasive, but you can still control it. And I took this really intentionally. I focus on one area and everything else is a little blur, and that's my intention.
And it's just lovely. It looks like it's regal with almost a crown with some sort of almost a wedding dress of the petals.
Oh, that's nice. Yes, thank you. Yeah. And this is variegated euphorbia, and this was by the way, the only shot I took with my iPhone. I just got the new phone after 5 years, and I got iPhone 13 Pro, and I didn't even do any special high resolution setting or anything, but I just straight shot and from iPhone and cropped, and it came out pretty good. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Yes, that's amazing. The phone technology has certainly improved the snapshot.
Yes. So this one and the next two are I took at the farm in Hansville, near Hansville, and they have a flower patch, not a patch, but a farm, and then growing flower for cutting. And went there, and this happened to be lots of bees, and just got the kind of straight, up front, face to face with the bee came out. So. And this is the same thing in zinnia, and there's another bee on it. And I really like the background of very similar flower and blur. I really like the effect. It just came out that way. And this is also zinnia, and it's just interesting. It looks like, to me, it looks like a cupcake or something. I don't know why, but it just pretty cute form, and it's not confirmed, but I think it's zinnia also. And I also love the blurry background of other zinnia flowers. So
yes, boy, you open our eyes to a lot of these lovely pictures of getting close like this sort of changes the whole experience.
Yeah. So yes.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, like you mentioned, a lot of pictures, or when I was taking picture, I even didn't realize that detail I was able to catch. And when I come home and put it in the computer screen, and almost always zoom in some area that might be really interesting for like a crop of certain area to create something out of it. If the original image might be okay, but if you zoom in into a certain area, that might create something really interesting. That's what I really look for.
Yes, and found over and over. Very nice. Yeah. What is the picture behind you?
Oh, this is, I believe, this is a Hellebore.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was not from mine, but it was at the garden. They were they are selling a potted plants back in December. It's also kind of zoomed in, but this was also iPhone, by the way. So, but it came out pretty good. I want to make it a little springy.
So besides the iPhone, what do you use?
I use mirrorless Fujifilm mirrorless. It's called XT30. It's not the high end, but it's a pretty good, relatively new camera, and very small and very handy. And I'm still getting used to it, but it's a good camera. I really like it.
Great.
Chizuko, I love these pictures. They're just great. And is your new camera in the range of size of the phone, or?
New camera? I mean,
Yeah.
talking about the iPhone?
No, you were saying you have a new camera, which is small. I was wondering how small.
My small, well, XT30 is small, about this small.
Right.
Yeah, so it's not tiny, but if you put the lens on, it's got much heavier, but it's a pretty handy mirrorless camera.
What I like about using the phone for flower photography often is you can get down next to the ground better than if you have a big lens on, and you can get the underside of things. We collect hellebores partly because deer don't eat them. But the breeders have, and traditionally hellebores droop downwards, so you can't see the underneath part unless you've got something you either turn it up or float it in a bowl of water or whatever. But lately they've been breeding new varieties which face outward, which are really nice.
I saw, Paul, I saw on your Facebook about the outward facing hellebore, so I'm gonna look for it.
Yeah, this is the time of year to buy them.
Yeah.
All right, and it's good to know in this part of the world that if the deer don't like them, we can feel free to fall in love with them.
Right.
Did anyone else have a comment, Don?
I just was wondering what lens you use. I mean, your pictures are absolutely gorgeous. I have to say that at first, but what lens were you using?
Oh, these are just 18 to 55 millimeter. Most of shots, and no macro or anything. It's zoom lens.
And you handheld them?
Yes, they're all
Amazing.
handheld except the one I took the indoor, but all
Right,
the
the
handheld.
contrast one that was manipulated. That
Yeah.
one you had on a tripod or something?
Yes, I had to. Yeah, that was indoor. So that was the only tripod. And I think my problem is not my problem, but when I go to certain gardens, especially Heronswood woodland area, it's pretty dark. And also I like to take a picture when it's a little bit kind of gloomy or after rain. So I put the high ISO up and trying to keep the shutter speed in certain speed, not too low. And thank you for the software. I would use a denoise to get rid of a little bit of the noise. And that seems to be working.
Well, yeah, beautiful images. Unfortunately, Dorothy got called away to a phone call, so she'll have to watch the recording. But are all these pretty much with natural light? Because your lighting was really nice with the flowers highlighted in the dark background.
Right.
Wow.
They're all natural light.
Yeah. Beautiful, nice job.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming and watch the show.
Well,
Beautiful photos. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, really nice, Chizuko.
Thank you.
I'm going to come and visit you again at Heronswood.
Oh yeah, I know. I think yeah, I started volunteer in April of 2020, and I just work there about once a month, and so I can see different seasons, and I go take picture. Not during that much, but yeah, and I visit there quite often, and then there are all sorts of things happening. Even in winter, I believe there are maybe something's going on. So I really
Well, when we talk about gardening here with Ann Lovejoy once a month, we always discover there's something going on in the garden all the time.
yeah.
Put a link of for Heronswood in the chat or in the comment area, so you can find it there. And also, Chizuko, you should look at the comments that people have left. They're
Oh,
very
sure.
complimentary, and
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
thank you very much.